the NewYorkTimes.com. There is a new store that opened in Lower Manhattan. And the story goes that pencils are like fax machines and margarine. They do a job. There are other things that do the job better, like pens, email, that do the job better than pencils. But you can solve a crossword puzzle with a pencil. I know we have things called erasable pen, but it doesn't work still doesn't erase completely like a pencil can or does. And being in the presence of an obsessive hobbyist is intoxicating. So says the author who is of this piece, who is Molly Young. And the name of the joint is CW Pencil Enterprise. The owner is 24-year-old Caroline Weaver. And they say, and I've seen a picture of her, she really does kind of look like Natalie Wood. They call her a Natalie Wood lookalike. And I'm sure she's probably gotten it, which is why she, plays it up. It's good publicity for her. But she even has gone so far as to have a pencil tattooed on her forearm. Now, her store is the size of a juice box, basically, is what they're saying. And it's checkered. It has a checkered floor and jars of yellow button chrysanthemums sprinkled around. With its spanking newness and luminous blocks of color, the place looks like an Edward Hopper canvas. The fancy pencil store is begging to be Instagrammed because she's 24, so she's kind of hip, Lower Manhattan. But the pictures of this place are, it is tiny, but I'm just, she's got pencils from that originate from Japan and Germany and France and the Czech Republic, and from Sweden and from Switzerland. And she's got she's got old pencils and new pencils, and she's got it's an interesting store. And now this is pretty interesting because this is something that I had mentioned before, earlier this week about making your own way, opportunity everywhere. Now, evidently, she saw opportunity in a pencil store, that she was going to be able to have pencils for sale, and that people would come in and buy them. And it appears that maybe it's a little bit of a novelty. Might be a little bit of a novelty, but it's still something that works. People know how to use a pencil. So she's found a way to take if she can take the lowly pencil and make it into a business enterprise, what is keeping people outside of that who using something that simple? That's a pencil. Come on, you got to be able. I'm just saying that it's there. The opportunity is there. Opportunities all around. And if this Natalie Wood lookalike can make a go of a pencil store, then how about you open up right next door to her and compliment her and open up a pen store, Pen. And you can run sales together. If you buy a box of 24 pencils, get a free pen. If you buy this pen, get a gift certificate for this many pencils next door. There's all sorts of things you could do. Yeah, a paper store. We have those too. Paper of all kinds. It's actually called the paper store. There's an enterprise. It's called the paper store. So, you could do that. Team with somebody you could have a pen and paper and pencil store right next, one after the other. Lower Manhattan. Look, there were stores and still, remember Franklin Covey, the binder organizer thing. They had stores. They had a store for those binders down at the Prudential Center in Boston, which is a very pricey, ritzy mall. Trust me, they would have to sell a lot of those things in order to make any money. So I'm sure she's got to sell a bunch of pencils in order to make her monthly rent down in Lower Manhattan. But she's trying to do something on her own. You cannot discourage her and disparage her for that, because a lot of other people are just sitting on their duff, complaining and doing nothing, while she is doing something to make her life better. And maybe, I don't know, the story didn't say if she had any employees or not. But hey, what if she employs one person? I don't know. Is she going to have to pay them $15 an hour? New York City isn't one of the stupid cities that I know. LA is, speaking of that, has agreed to do what San Francisco did and raise the minimum wage in LA to $15 an hour. And already there are businesses and stores saying, well, we can't afford it, so people are going to get laid off, fired, basically. And there are people and some stores are just going to close. They're just because they can't pay it. And they don't see how they can stay competitive by paying it. And you can't really, blame them. If they don't think they can make it, then how are you going to force? I want to see how you can force somebody to stay in business. You can't close. There was that. Somebody wanted to come up with a law that prevented stores from businesses from closing abruptly. I don't know how you do. How do you force a business to stay in business if they can't afford to stay in business? They would try. I'm sure that these wonderful people think that they're doing what is right. No, they're not. They just want to control. They just want to be in control. That's simple. How is a government? What are they going to do? Are they going to fine and jail the business owner, or the business fails and the business closes? Well, there's no money to run the business, so how are they going to force the business owner to keep the business open and keep paying employees? What they'll do is they'll sue the former employer and say, "Well, you owe back wages." Well, you don't have any money, so good luck on that. But don't doubt me that that's what they'll try to do. They will try to do that. If such a law were to be passed, you would see test cases coming about where they would be suing the old business to gain back wages that the former employees didn't earn. And they will probably try to they will probably try to attach directly to the owner's property as well. Even though they might be incorporated or what have you. Yes. So things are just getting topsy-turvy. They are just getting absolutely freaking weird out there. Rand Paul ends his 10.5-hour filibuster, evidently to no avail, because it looks like the Republicans, like Mr. Ryan, and I'll try to get into that part in the last segment. But did you know? Now, I got some Boy Scout news, but I also got some Girl Scout. The Girl Scouts have welcomed their first transgender Girl Scouts. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Girl Scouts are for girls, right? And if I'm not mistaken, in order to be a Girl Scout, you have to be under the age of 18. If you're under the age of 18, then I don't know any doctor who's going to do sex surgery on a child. unless there is an absolute medical condition for it, which is rare. But are they saying that, oh, yeah, well, Johnny is going from spelling his name with a Y to spelling his name with an IE? Because, Mr. Johnny is going to become Mrs. Johnny. Simply by... Thank you, Bruce Jenner. Thank you so much, Bruce Jenner, for bringing this kind of crap out. I mean, this is... you can't make this stuff up, people. See, I don't know. Maybe some of you out there listening, you're not a girl anymore. I don't know. But yes, the Girl Scouts are welcoming on board their first transgendered Girl Scouts. At the same time, as I mentioned earlier this week, Boy Scouts are trying to ban water gun fights, but now they're saying Boy Scouts of America leader, President Robert Gates, is saying Boy Scouts should end the ban on gay adult scout leaders. Now, if I'm not mistaken, didn't the Boy Scouts go through a round of bouts and lawsuits like the Catholic Church did because there were some gay scouts that preyed on the boys? And now this idiot is saying, well, let's just drop the whole anti-gay thing and let's allow gay scoutmasters now. I don't... people... I have not bought into this notion of chemtrails in airplanes. There's conspiracy theorists out there that talk about, the government is spraying, every time a plane flies over, that the government is spraying this chemical that's controlling your mind. And I got to tell you that even though the evidence is not there for such a thing, I'm starting to believe maybe there is some credibility to this stupid conspiracy theory because people are losing their freaking minds. When you start accepting transgendered boys who are now girls into the Girl Scouts, and you have an organization like the Boy Scouts who had an issue and a hard time with some scouts leaders being pedophiles with the boys, now saying that, hey, maybe we should allow gays to be, I am absolutely not equating or saying that all gay men are pedophiles because that is not the truth. And I don't even want to equate, but why do you put yourself in that position? Because the first time it happens, when you lift the ban and the first time some kid accuses a scout leader of manhandling them, that this is going to be brought up. You shouldn't have done it. And if you didn't do it, then my little Johnny wouldn't have been abused. These people are just, they're going insane. Everybody's going crazy around us here. None of it's making any sense, folks. It really is. I don't know how else to say it or explain it. But, when the Scouts are supposed to be about good old-fashioned wholesome fun while you're learning something. So is that good old-fashioned wholesome fun now about the LGBT community? Did I leave somebody out? Isn't it? It's not it used to be just the LBG community, right? Lesbians, bis, gays. And then we got, there's Q, right? LGBTQ. What's the difference between a transgender, a gay, and a queer? I don't know. But see, I don't. And the last time I saw something, it was like a 10-letter thing to represent the LGBTQXYZ community. I mean, really? Yeah, that's just proof that we're losing our minds and we're losing our way. We really are. When the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts of America fall prey to this kind of post-craziness enlightened world, you're really losing ground. And it's going to be difficult to get it back, folks. It really is. Boy Scouts going to allow gay leaders?